اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي. Respected fathers, mothers, brothers, sisters in faith, and my equals in humanity, I want to take this opportunity by beginning and re-extending to you my condolences on these series of tragic events and occasions, the tragedy of Karbala. We ask Allah in these days to help us reflect upon the essences, the teachings of these days, these holy days, so that we elevate in knowledge, we elevate in potential and action. وذلك بفضل الصلاة على محمد وآل محمد. The first day of Muharram we discussed the idea of Imam Hussein and his movement of reformation superficially. We didn't go that deep. And yesterday we touched upon a topic which is very significant. We discussed how do theories frame our vision and our understandings. We talked about two main theories that tend to be dominant nowadays. Before I begin and I discuss, some are asking me, Brother Ali, why are you focusing on topics that tend to be not related to the actual events? Why? First of all, the topics that I'm presenting are somewhat connected to the movement or to the essences or to the teachings of Imam Hussein. That's number one. Number two, I cannot be talking to you about the movement of Imam Hussein and talking to you about history if we are right now under destruction. And what makes it worse, we are under destruction and we don't know. We are under an ideological destruction, a destruction on the social level. So that's why I try to introduce topics that we are right now, we need to get educated about. And then in a way or another, I connect it to this holy month. So today I'm going to be touching upon a very crucial topic. And the topic for today is weak versus strong personalities. What is the difference? What is the difference between a weak and a strong personality? Allah mentions in His holy book, and keep this ayah in your mind, يثبت الله الذين آمنوا بالقول الثابت في الحياة الدنيا والآخرة. The ayah mentions Allah establishes strength within those who hold firmly into the words of God. Now, I'm going to view the idea of strong versus weak personalities from three perspectives. Perspective number one is going to be a psychological perspective. Perspective number two is going to be a social perspective. And the third perspective and point of view is going to be a religious and a jurisprudential perspective. A psychologist from the University of Chicago, he investigated in this topic. What does it mean to have a strong personality? What does it mean? After several experiments and observations and tests, they came to a conclusion that a strong personality is made up of three main elements, three main factors. Number one, self-control. Number two, commitment toward your action. And number three, you are orientated in the path you want. Now, There's an individual, let me give you an example, and then let's see if these laws apply on this figure. This individual, his name is Rowan Atkinson. This person suffered from stuttering. He wasn't able to speak properly, fluently. And I think a lot of you can relate because bullying has become a social issue right now. He was bullied to an extent that is very severe at school. Imagine you not being able to express what you have in your heart. Normal speech right now. Imagine. And imagine people bully you regarding this case because you're a stutter. This individual, years after years, graduated from the University of Oxford. He graduated in the field of electrical engineering. Soon afterward, he tackled the stutter they had. He went into the field of acting. He went into the field of acting. He started acting, presenting shows, comedy, stuff like that. And then he became popular and more popular and started ascending. And I think a lot of you can relate because it's hard to ascend and to develop when you have a problem on your back, when you're handicapped in a way, when you are disabled. So he developed. And now he made a show soon, years after, called Mr. Bean. He took that personality. And now this individual, his net worth is $130 million. This person started off as a stutter. He couldn't express, he couldn't speak. And now he's an actor and a very popular entity. Another person, the founder of Alibaba, you guys might know him. His net worth is $36 billion. This individual was rejected by Harvard 10 times. He applied to KFC. 5 people applied to KFC. He was one of them. 4 were accepted. He was rejected. He applied as a cop. He was rejected. He applied in Kentucky as in a restaurant for fried chicken. He was rejected. Now all these, they demolish your self-esteem. Now this shows a strong personality, or does it not? Now let's go back to the laws of psychology and apply these laws of psychology on these individuals to see, do they have a strong personality or not? Rule number 1, self-control. I think the guy with a stutter did have self-control. He was bullied school years, and he graduated with straight A's in science as an electrical engineer, and then he orientated his field to comedy and stuff like that, and now he's a very popular figure. I believe he's very self-controlled. Is he committed? We can see the results. And did he orientate himself in the path he wanted? Yes, he did. He's a strong personality. Now I want everybody to take themselves and see themselves based on the standards of these 2 individuals. Do you guys believe you have strong personalities right now? In regards to the 2 individuals I mentioned? No. That's from the psychological perspective. From the social perspective, right now we are living in an era, we are living in a society, we are living in a civilization where having a strong personality is the most significant factor or a part in us. Why? Because we are living in a multicultural society. We encounter different norms. We encounter different cultures. We encounter different ideologies. We encounter different mentalities. We encounter different agendas. We encounter different curriculums. We encounter different people. We encounter different perspectives. If we don't have a strong personality, we're gonna collapse right away. We're gonna face external disturbances that will disturb our internal side. Right now, one of the things we should be focusing at is strengthening our personality to have control over our desires, especially the youth. They need to know this. They need to control their desires. I can make a connection to this. I have one of my friends. He called me one day, that was 2 years ago. He was like, Brother Ali, there's an experiment that I'm gonna do. I was like, what is it? He was like, I'm gonna wake up tomorrow in the morning and I'm gonna do the opposite of whatever my needs and wants desire me to do. I was like, man, you can't do that. I was like, you'll see. He woke up next morning, because he usually wakes up, breakfast, coffee, maybe a muffin on the side, a donut. He said, I woke up, I had a glass of water and that's it. He said, I didn't have anything until lunch. When it was lunchtime, my mother cooked rice and chicken and meat. He was like, I sat with my parents, I told them that today, I'm not gonna eat anything. The only thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna drink a coffee, and after like some time, I'm gonna eat an apple. And so he did. Sometime later, dinner, he had a small sandwich. I called him the next day. I was like, how did your experiment go? What did you feel? He said, I felt different. I was like, how? He said, I felt strong. I was like, how does that make you strong? He said, usually I live my days having my desires to control me. I'm hungry, I go eat. I'm thirsty, I go drink. I'm sleepy, I go sleep. I want to study, I go for that. I'm bored, I go hang out with my friends. But he said, yesterday, when I performed this experiment, I controlled my desires. I orientated my desires to a path. They wanted something, I was like, no, I'm not going to give you that. He said, I felt internal strength. I felt strong because I'm the dominant one today, not my desire. And I recommend my brothers and sisters, especially the youth, to try this out, to control their desires. This is part of having a strong personality. Those who have the responsibility of parenting, they need to have a strong personality. Those who have the position of a leadership, whether it's at school, whether it's at home, maybe in front of your brothers and your younger brothers, so on and so forth. You need to have a strong personality and not get affected. Now, let's look at it from the religious and jurisprudential perspective. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, يُثَبِّتُ اللَّهُ الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا بِالْقَوْلِ الثَّابِتِ فِي الْحَيَاةِ الدُّنْيَا وَالْآخِرَةِ. يُثَبِّتُ اللَّهُ. Allah establishes strength within you. Now let's stop over here. Let's relate this to Imam Hussein salamullah alayhi. Did he depict a personality that is strong? Did he have a strong personality or no? How do you know? Number one, was he self-controlled? I don't think the question should be, was he self-controlled? It should be, how self-controlled was he? Because the idea that 77 against 30,000, how self-controlled is he? How much capacity of self-control does he possess? I have a friend one day at school. He was bullied because he got a haircut and he came back to school and they told him, oh, you don't have a hairline. And he made a big deal out of it. His personality collapsed right away. As if this whole figure, this character is in his hair. The essence of this character is restricted within his hair. Individuals like that are not self-controlled. So was Al-Imam Hussein Salamullah alayhi self-controlled? He was through this. Was he orientated in the path that he wanted? Well, sure. First of all, it is his responsibility. Second of all, this is a divine appointment. Number three, was he committed? Most definitely he was committed. Most definitely he was committed. Why? Because he's the successor and this is part of his agenda. Now, my friends and brothers will say, okay, Brother Ali, you said that according to psychology, if you wanted to be or to possess a strong personality, you must be self-controlled, you must be committed and orientated to the path that you want. How can I become like that? Well, refer back to the doctrine. يثبت الله الذين آمنوا منكم بالقول الثابت. So, the Quran is saying, which Imam Hussein basically acted upon it, the Quran is saying, if you want to be a personality that is strong, then you must hold firmly to the word. Which word? Word of God. Word of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. There's an interconnection right now. So, in order for us, why? Some people say, what is the philosophy behind this? Mainly, I believe the philosophy behind this, it's because when you believe in God, or when you believe in a divine case, a divine will, what's going to happen, anything you encounter, any tragedy, any situation, any hardships, you know that, oh, this is part of a major will, a bigger project, so I shouldn't worry. So from this, you're going to be self-controlled. From this, you're going to be orientated to a path, saying that I trust this will, I trust this path. Whatever happens, there's a will upon me. And from this, you're going to be committed. I believe at a time like this, we should all practice every single day. I think some of you have practiced this, maybe. But this idea of meditation is very crucial. Meditate. Refrain from your desires. Like, for example, these 10 days of Muharram. They're days of tragedy. Take them as an advantage to refrain from your desires. If you're bored, use this instrument. Very significant in your life. If you want to do something, go get educated. Go learn. Go read. Go teach. Go preach. Refrain from your desires. Once you refrain, because strength, a strong personality is directly interconnected to strength. And to achieve strength, which is interconnected to a strong personality, you must what? You must build up the strength within you. Oppose your needs. Oppose your desires. Oppose your wants. At days like this, back again to my main point, we are living in a community which is destructed. People live to eat. People live to have desire. People live to play around and joke and I don't know. That's why, and I'm sure a lot of my brothers have seen such people. The same people that are successful at school, they tend to be organized. They tend to be people of an objective. They tend to be people who have a purpose in life. Some people, you ask them, I don't know. Why are you here? What's the purpose behind this? Do you believe in what? How did this creation come to be? I don't know. Yesterday I spoke about how theories demolish or change or frame our visions. Today I spoke about weak personalities. Tomorrow, inshallah ta'ala, I'm going to speak about atheism, agnosticism, and creationism. Are they related to a theory, to a vision, to a weak personality? What is the philosophy behind these? I'm going to cover them. So that being said, brothers and sisters in faith and my equals in humanity, let's try, all of us, from me to you, to have a purpose. Have a purpose in life. Have a purpose. Build your personality, little by little. Build it up. And one day you will notice that you're a person of values, a person of morals, a person of ethics, a person who has a vision in life. I ask Allah in these days to help me as an individual and help you guys, brothers and sisters, to ascend with the responsibilities upon you, to become people of vision, to become people of potential. Before I end, I wanted to mention that any of you brothers, if you have a question regarding this particular lecture or the previous ones, feel free to confront me, to ask me a question. We can sit, form a circle and debate and discuss. And inshallah ta'ala, I will reply to you back with an open heart. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله لي ولكم وصلى الله على محمد وآله الطيبين الطاهرين.